Yuyuki21 here, and welcome back to my top 5 pick. This time I'm uploading the top 5 most annoying and most difficult enemy types to beat in Tale of Two Wastelands. The reason I'm doing this upload is because, well, the first video is mainly, it's my first video, so I'm still practicing, but now since I'm rather more confident, I'm going to upload it with this one. So let's go with number 5. Coming in at number 5 is the Tunnelers from Fallout New Vegas Lonesome Roads DLC. So the reason why the Tunnelers are so difficult and annoying to beat, well, don't get me wrong. The Tunnelers, if there's only a few of them, you can deal with them no problem. But if you are facing a horde of them, for example, they can tear you up easily, especially if you don't have the correct build to face them. One of the most effective ways to face them is to using a shotgun build because they often times come in crowds. Also, there are a venomous variant of Tunneler, although I don't really think they are much of a threat either because I never got poisoned by those venomous tunnelers before, so that's why they make it to number 5, mainly because they often attack you in crowds. Now let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4 is the Casadors from Fallout New Vegas. They appear in the base game, Honest Arts, and also Old World Blues. Many people consider Casadors to be the major annoyance in the game because they fly in an erratic pattern, and they have a powerful toxin within their stings. Like the Tunnelers, the best way to deal with them is to have a good build, especially shotgun builds to cripple their wings. If you cripple their wings, they will basically become very slow walkers on the ground, so you can pick them off easily. So that's why the Casadors made it to number 4. They are major annoyances in the early levels, but when you get used to them, they're not pretty much annoyances anymore. Now let's go on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the NCR and Legion hit squads in Fallout New Vegas. So these squads will be available to attack you at certain locations. For example, if you are Villavite with the NCR, you have a squad of Rangers coming in to kill you. While if you are Villavite with the Legion, they send in assassins, and the legionary assassins are armed with high-level weaponry. Even though, it makes no sense because the Legion mainly fights with melee weapons and throwing spears, but I guess it's full Pes's influence on them. Also, they can be very annoying because they can spawn at places where you trade with NPCs, and they can kill those NPCs, making you unable to trade with them anymore since they're dead. For example, I once got ambushed by a Legion hit squad at the Grub and Golf rest stop, where they killed Fitz, and I was unable to trade meat with him forever in the game. So, the only way to avoid getting hit squads is to maintain a neutral reputation with these two factions, which is kind of hard on a roleplay basis, so that's why they made it to number 3. Now let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2 is the Talon Company from Fallout 3. So, the Talon Company is pretty much like the NCR and Legion hit squads, but they only spawn if you have good karma. If you have bad karma, the regulators go after you, but they're not really a problem because the regulators were less armored. But the Talon Company, they always spawn with combat armor, and they are armed with high-level weaponry as well. When I first encountered them, well, it's Tale of Two Wastelands, they are armed with riot shotguns and 45 automatic pistols. If you are playing a good guy route, it's almost impossible to miss these guys. Also, even if you raid Fort Bannister, which is their headquarters where they have their main commander there, they will still spawn after you at some locations, like the Seneca Station. In order to avoid this, you have to have a neutral karma, even though that's partially impossible if you're trying to play a good guy route. If you want to go back to neutral karma, you need a perk that restores yourself back to neutral karma, or kill innocents. But for a roleplay reason, that's not gonna happen. So that's why the Talon Company made it to number 2. Now, let's move on to number 1. The top, most difficult, and annoying enemy type to beat in Tale of Two Wastelands is the Super Mutants in both Wastelands. These are truly, without any question I believe, the most annoying and hardest enemy type to beat in both Wastelands. So this enemy type can't be defeated by normal means. You can't just blast them apart like usual. it really doesn't work, especially in early levels, because the super mutants have high HP. They also spawn with high tier weaponry at start. Pretty strong weaponry such as, well, Chinese assault rifles, sniper rifles, and then like machine guns and such. Pretty strong weaponry. And they can really mow you down if you don't know exactly how to beat them. The best way to beat them is to use high level weaponry yourself. And using high level weaponry at the start isn't easy because you probably haven't met the skill requirements to use those weapons. So you need to constantly level up and build your character to a specific build in order to use those high level weaponry. Well, depending on what weapon that you use, I use the Gauss rifle so I can get many sneak criticals on them. Another part that makes the super mutants so annoying is that you cannot make them run away during battle. So when you started a fight loud, you need to end it by killing those super mutants or pray to Lord that you can escape them. The only easiest way that I have found to defeat super mutants, well, one by one that is to have a high sneak skill and as well perks such as Ninja, Purifier, and better criticals, so that you can score a maximum amount of sneak critical rate. And hope to God that that sneak attack works on them and kill them instantly. And make sure that you don't get caught. That's the easiest way that I've found to fight them in groups if you spec in sneak. Another thing with the super mutants is that they are basically the precursors to death claws in the Capital Wasteland. Well, death claws usually spawn in near Evergreen Mills. Well, I encountered one near there before, and also in Old Olney. Most of you might be thinking that, hey, what about death claws? Why aren't death claws on this list? Because if you're asking me this about a year ago, I might have put Deathclaws on this list. But I rarely find Deathclaws to be that annoying. Because by the time I've already encountered them, I'm already on a high level. I'm already armed with heavy weaponry as well. In Fallout 3, they don't really travel in packs that much, and they can be easy to mow down with. You don't have to fight packs of them in the Capital Wasteland. Well, in the Mojave Wasteland, there's the quarry ones where they travel in packs, but that's late game issue for me since I play the Mojave Wasteland at the late game. But the super mutants, every time I face the super mutants, they really are a pain to beat. In addition to their high HP, they have also high DT, so it's really hard to beat them with outbalancing mods or damage mods like the realistic headshot mods. So you can't beat them that easily. You need to really strategize in order to beat them, especially if they're in packs. So now, amongst many reasons why I thought that the super mutants are the most annoying and difficult enemy type to beat in Tale 2 Wastelands, fighting a single super mutant, that's not a big deal. That's not hard to deal with. But when facing a pack of them, especially when you don't have the right build at the early game, they can really be a pain in the anus. So that's what this top 5 list. Let me know what your opinion is in the comments, which is the most hardest and annoying enemy type to beat. And I'll see you next time in my next video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content from me. See ya!